the Afro.
And I'm the I.
And we're reviewing. What are we reviewing today, I?
It's Grid Motorsport on the Nintendo Switch. You just got it recently and I thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it is actually kind of unique. I haven't seen anything else like it on the Switch. I mean, to be fair, there's only really other games that race and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, we played a few other things, I think it was Mario Kart and Fast RMX, but this actually looks pretty much like a fully fledged racing game.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you've seen me playing it for the last couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm actually around.
Yeah, basically. You're finally here to actually review it with me.
Yeah.
This is a re-release of the game from the PS3 and Xbox 360, so if you've played that, you kind of already know what you're looking for.
What's the career mode like? Have you gotten into that yet?
Nah, I'm kind of a bit scared. I don't think Nigerian races exist a lot in Grid Motorsport, to be fair. I've mainly been doing the quick races, but you still get to see everything that this offers. You have lots of different styles of races, as well as lots of different classes of cars for each type of race.
Do they have your favourite car, Civic Type R?
What, like the one I have in real life?
Yeah.
Basically, it's a slightly newer version, and it doesn't look Japanese, but it's the same thing, and they also have minis as well, because you're tiny as hell, so you can fit in those quite nicely.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So what's interesting about this is that it reminds me a bit of Colin McRae's Rally, although it might just be because it's the one game I've ever played with cars.
See, that makes sense, because it's made by the same dudes, isn't it? It's made by Codemasters, right?
Okay, yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
There you go. That's why it kind of looks and feels a little bit similar with that same level of polish. Taking into account this is on the Nintendo Switch, the game is pretty impressive. The sound's really good. That white car I was driving, the Mazda one, the RX-7, yeah? That sounded as it should do, and it handled as it should as well, because of course I don't know how to turn, so I just slide around all over the place like a moron. And also, when you crash into things, your wheel stops working. And all of my doors fell off as well.
Oh, no.
And I flipped over lots of times. It was basically just a really bad F1 race.
Destruction derby.
During the setup of your character, you select a difficulty level, but you can change that throughout the game and also make your own custom level depending on how you want the game to be set up. I turn most of them off because, I enjoy a challenge.
But if you're not that used to, I guess, these sorts of games, you can put a number of fancy car-sounding things on, like automatic transmission, braking assistance, and handling assistance to help the game go a bit smoother. Just like a real car. You're not helping with any stereotypes. You're just kind of making it. There's also a lot of different colours of cars, so there's that as well.
You know what? You're not allowed to play with me.
Why not?
Because, there isn't multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
So that's the biggest thing. I mean, even if there was, I still wouldn't want to play with you because I think you just care too much about the colours.
Brilliant.
But they are at least looking at bringing it to the Switch, and from at least the sounds on the grapevine that Codemasters are making, it seems to be a priority. So hopefully we get to see it within the next couple of months.
Nice. I still don't get why you locked the camera inside, though. Wouldn't you want to see everything that's around you just to be able to drive?
I mean, I would, but I need that experience boost. I need to level up quicker.
Well, I guess you could just race more.
Shut up. There's something quite interesting about this game's graphics.
Is it that you can change them around?
Nah, but, talk about that. That's way cooler than what I was going to talk about.
In the menus, you can choose to have graphics that look good, but don't perform as great. Those are good for when you're on the dock. There's options for performance and battery saving as well, so you can still actually play while you're kind of on the train, travelling, walking around.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I mean, if you're walking around and driving, you're really good at this game. One thing I noticed on the handheld mode when I was actually switching between them is that for the good graphics mode, the Switch kind of had to dip a little bit below 30 frames per second to actually give good graphics, whereas docked it's kind of a bit more stable. Performance is best if you're using handheld, in my opinion at least, but I'm guessing if you're doing long races, battery save is likely a better option, right?
Yeah. On the TV it looked like it played really well anyway. I think that better graphics option is worth the frame rate drop if you're getting kind of better lighting, better imaging. What were you going to say before?
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Basically, you can download extra graphics for these. So I'm guessing that the graphics intensive version on the downloadable version is something you have to get. It counts as DLC, but you're not charged for it. It basically is a 3 gig download of, I'm guessing, textures and lighting and so on, to help make the game look better, which is great if you have either a Switch Lite or you don't really have a lot of space on your card, or if you're only playing handheld, because then you get to save some space.
Nice. How do you get them?
It shows up as DLC. Basically, I bought the game, and then afterwards it said there's DLC, so I downloaded it, and that's about it. I have no idea about what it's like on the cartridge version, because I wanted gold points, right? Gold points are tasty.
They've done a lot of things for us. Our online family subscription, for one.
Yeah, that's true. And also they helped me pre-order a little bit of Link's Awakening. Tasty. The only downside is the controls on the game. It's not necessarily that they're bad, it's just that you have a limited level of control when it comes to accelerating, braking, and steering. You know, the things that you tend to do in a car game.
And that's because like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox have the triggers to move, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like with the triggers, you can kind of choose how much you want to accelerate and decelerate, right? On the Switch, you can set it to be on the analog stick, which when you're using a Pro controller feels quite good. But on the Joy-Con with their smaller analog sticks, it's still a little bit touchy to be able to get that sort of halfway mark on acceleration.
Couldn't you just bring out the GameCube controller?
Yeah, they actually support it, and that's something that I looked up to find out about. Basically, if you get a GameCube controller and you connect it into the Switch using the GameCube adapter, because that has a bit more analog control on the triggers, you can use that to do your accelerating and decelerating. I haven't tried it yet because I don't have a GameCube controller, but it should work pretty well, and if anything, you're not missing out any buttons when you switch to that, so I don't see a problem at least. The only downside is that it's hardwired in while it's in the dock, so you can't really do it when you're either playing on tabletop or handheld. So with those, you're just gonna either have to get a Pro controller or a wireless GameCube controller that won't be recognized in the same sort of way.
Ah, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, only a little bit though. I mean, the game's only £30. There has to be something it's missing out on. There's a lot that it's got going for it. And to be fair, you kind of know that when you go into the controllers on the Switch that you're going to have to look for an alternative, right?
What'd be really good is if you could just use a steering wheel controller.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Hey, someone, make a steering wheel for the Switch, and then tell these guys. Overall, if you like playing racing games that get you to play as if you're a real motorsport driver, then this is the game for you. You get to pretend to be a race driver in lots of different disciplines. And it's definitely on the side of being realistic as opposed to being arcadey like everything else. So, you know, you kind of get everything that you'd expect from like Gran Turismo, essentially, except on the Switch.
I think it's one of the best looking games on the Switch as well. It came out on PS3 before, but it just looks a bit nicer on the Switch. I'm surprised even with depth of field blur when you're driving around as well. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. I mean, the only downside is that you have to be ready to get yourself a GameCube controller set up if you want to have fuller control. Having the ability to use analog triggers, in my opinion, adds way too much to the game for you to ignore.
If you want us to look at any other games, let us know in the comments or Instagram and Twitter. Lots of places. Yeah, lots of places. Lots and lots of different places. And make sure you're subscribed and that you've clicked the bell so that you know when we release something. Because, you know, Spooktober's coming up. Yeah. Nice.
If you want to know more about Spooktober, you're going to need to check on Instagram. We don't want to spoil it here for you guys. But other than that, thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.